Hello, everybody. My name is Teryl Taylor. I'm from IBM Research, and I'm new to the LFAI and actually to the BeeAI project itself. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the BeeAI ecosystem to give you an idea of what's going on and all of the stuff around that. So right now we're seeing sort of the AI agent landscape is proliferation of agents. I think at IBM itself, we probably have about, I think last count, about 2,000 agents. And as we essentially see that increase, and I almost think that this is going to turn into sort of like an app store where you have, hundreds or thousands of agents. This creates sort of complexities with, building agents, combining them, having them interact with one another, and the like. And so some of the problems around that is, this says building agents is messy. I think building agents is just different as opposed to, for folks that have done a lot of software programming, I liken the programming agents to working with a drunken child, trying to get it to do something, and which it can do it most of the time, but getting that reliability in there can be challenging, and it also creates sort of new interesting things where you can create sort of new design patterns and stuff like that to be able to build your agents, which I think is really exciting. Also, we have, again, these agents that are being created across different frameworks and environments, and we need ways to have them communicate with one another so that they can crowdsource, solutions and things like that. And so this can be challenging as people are writing their agents in very different ways, and sort of how do we standardize, that communication. And also just the idea of, as a company or as an individual writing our agents, how do we share them, with other people, so that they can sort of take that capability and put it into their system. I kind of think of it as Matrix. If you ever saw Matrix in Keanu, when he needed to essentially get that ability to be able to fly a helicopter, and he just downloaded it. And so sort of that idea of, oh, can we get that agent that gives us this capability that we don't have? And so the BeeAI ecosystem is really composed of three components to help sort of to solve these issues. One is the agent framework itself, and so that's basically how do you build an agent using a particular programming language and the like. And then essentially the BeeAI platform, which is used to essentially deploy that agent. So how do we package it up? How do we discover the agents that are in our system? How do we run and share them? And also how do we interact with them through a user interface? And the platform, we want to be able to support these agents that are built in different frameworks like LangChain, LambIndex, and the like. And how do you configure and govern your deployments? But if we've deployed them with our platform, and we want that sort of standardized way of being able to communicate across the agents, and so we do that through the agent communication protocol. So I'll go just briefly a little bit deeper into each of these components. So the BeeAI framework is really a production-grade framework for building AI agents. It provides a lot of different design patterns from allowing the LLM to interact and make all of the decisions through using tools, all the way to the opposite end where you want to have the programmer kind of put more guardrails, more restrictions, and control the flow using things like workflow objects. And so. And also, there's different types of agents that actually combine both of those. So, for example, there was just a release of what's called the requirements agent, which allows you to sort of do React design patterns, but add restrictions or requirements on those LLM agents to actually have to call tools in specific orders or do things like that. The framework is LLM provider agnostic, so you can hook it up into any particular provider, whether that's local or some sort of larger system. It provides state handling, built-in caching, memory optimizations, and resource management, and supports both languages of TypeScript and Python. And it natively supports events, which can be quite powerful, and observability, so that you can essentially be able to get introspection into what your agent is doing, what tool it's calling, what prompts it's using, all built into it. The BeeAI platform, again, is really around for discovery, running, and sharing agents across any framework. And so it allows you to discover new agents from a curated catalog. So we support a catalog of agents where you can actually, download them. You can interact with them directly through a UI or a CLI, and you can share the agents with friends, teammates, and the like. It supports this ability because it's sort of a wrapper. It can support different frameworks, so you can really choose whatever framework that you want, including LangChain, CrewAI, etc. And it allows you to hook into different LLM providers by providing proxies and all the observable traces that come along with that. And it has native support for ACP inside of it, which allows you to do that sort of communication, between the particular agents. The agent communication protocol is an open standard with open governance for this agent interoperability. As part of the AI LF, we're always looking for feedback and improvements. And taking sort of a community-focused approach on this. It is a client-server architecture and supports a REST API and an SDK, which again is in both Python and TypeScript. It supports online and offline discoverability, streaming, async support, and integrates with BeeAI platforms. And it's really designed to be a sort of a very simple way to be able to connect agents together, and gives you a lot of power at the same time. And it can support multimodal connections and essentially collaborative approaches with the agents interacting with one another. Given the time, I will move on to the BeeAI life cycle. So basically the idea is by utilizing the BeeAI ecosystem, you can use the BeeAI framework to build your agent using the BeeAI framework, and essentially apply that into your using Python or TypeScript to be able to build that out. Then essentially you use your platform to deploy it, share it out there, and it can communicate through the ACP. Again, it's open by design. It's part of the Linux Foundation AI, so we're always looking for people who want to come out and contribute, to the project. Very community oriented. We have weekly calls and the like, and as you can see there at the bottom, you can learn about how to contribute and about those calls on that slide. And so if you want to follow BeeAI on GitHub, there is a QR code for doing that. And there's also BeeAI workshop to help folks who want to give it a try. So thanks very much. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, I'll be around later for a while. Thank you.